What about MVPG? Yeah, I saw his review. Yeah, I saw this thing. I think the take was good. I want to watch this though, but chat was too DG to watch it. I can't watch it, to be honest.
So if I build a new lens and my lens only works with my camera, then that's vertical integration. Or if I build new headphones and my headphones only work with my cable, that's vertical integration. Now, if I build a new smartwatch and my smartwatch only works with my smartphone, be careful, that might be illegal. That's a bit of an oversimplification, but let's talk about it. So this is a developing story and will continue to develop for years, but I feel like it all comes down to something that I've at least noticed in talking to all these big companies, all these multi-billion-dollar companies. They always have two reasons for any public-facing statement that they make. There's the reason for the public, and then there's the real reason. So there was just some news this past week of the US Department of Justice suing Apple, saying that they are an illegal monopoly in the United States, the iPhone specifically. Now, whenever there's legal proceedings, obviously things get very complicated, and I won't even pretend to be diving into this at a super deep level, but this is also interesting to me because of all the stuff with the things that we talk about every day with just smartphones and gadgets. And of course, this is a pretty US specific thing. Like obviously they're being sued by the US, but also their dominance. Apple, the iPhone is the most popular in the US. So I think these are some numbers we should keep in mind. In the US, the iPhone is at like 60% market share, and it's even way higher, up near 90% with young people. Like, it is ridiculously dominant. But worldwide, the iPhone is at about a 25% market share. So the iPhone is specifically trending towards a monopoly in the United States.
So what can a company do to abide by the rules? They say, hey guys, here we're about to make a product that's less desirable. Fuck you. Just so you buy less, so that we are conform with the rules.
So here's where it gets really interesting. I would like to live in this analogy for this video, which is, you've heard about people describing Apple's ecosystem as a walled garden before. This could not be more true, right? There's this really, really nice, beautiful, luscious garden, and in the middle of that garden is the iPhone. And it has these really tall, thick walls all the way around it. So in an ideal world, right, you are just picking between different options for a product based on its merits, based on its features. So you just look at the whole lineup and you go, yeah, I like this one the best, and that's how you make your choice, right? Sick. But with this one, the claim is Apple is making it really, really difficult once you've chosen theirs to ever switch to anything else. So with this analogy again, it's really the walls of the garden that we have the issue with. So I'll do two examples. So take the Apple Watch, right? This is one of the
guys, by definition, isn't that something for like Steam? Like once they have all the games and I buy my games on Steam, and want to buy my new games that are coming out and they only have it all on Steam, I can't go anywhere else. I have to buy on Steam, no?
Examples in the Department of Justice's 88-page PDF that they've submitted. The iPhone and the Apple Watch work perfectly well together and only together. It's a feature, it's by design, that's how they are. So two parts of that are sketchy. One is the Apple Watch works really well with the iPhone in a way that no other smartwatch can. And two, the Apple Watch does not work with any other smartphone. So look, I don't think it's a surprise that when Apple built a watch, they gave it all kinds of integrations with the iPhone, so you can see them working perfectly together. You can see and dismiss your notifications, you can reply to messages, track your fitness, you can even use it as a shutter for your iPhone's camera. All these features that they just plug right into the iPhone. They work great. And I think that's even what Apple would tell people. They would agree, like, this is how we made it so that they work amazingly well together. This is vertical integration. It's awesome. But there's also the real reason. Because the truth is, now, if you try to use any other smartwatch with the iPhone, you just don't get nearly as many of those useful features from being super well integrated. If you try to use like a Garmin smartwatch, for example, you don't get the viewfinder for the camera. You don't get the fitness tracking through Apple Fitness. You don't get quick...
Well, how is it their fucking problem? I mean, if the government wants to fucking pay the company for them to develop the software and additional features and safety features and everything else so that it's compatible. I mean, sure, I mean, we'll take government. I'm sure they'll take government funding, but if they're not going to fund it, what the fuck would they care?
Replies, you don't get
they make their
even
product
image
functional with their own
previews to your
shit.
text
Like, what the
messages.
fuck?
You don't even get to choose which apps show you notifications. It's just all or nothing. So if you choose an iPhone, then next when you're looking for a smartwatch to buy, there's kind of only really one good full-fledged option, which is the Apple Watch. This is also true, by the way, to various degrees with AirPods and AirTags and various other things in Apple's ecosystem, because they all are great when you have an iPhone and work super well with it, but work horribly or not.
Guys, I understand it's a big company and they have a lot of money, but if you set the precedent that of like that for other companies, then it's like, oh, you're a developing company and now you're growing, and oh shit, you want to make a product, well, it has to be compatible with all our other garbage. It has to be it has to work and has all the functionality, and make more software and get more employees and get more code so that it works with everybody else, so that it's compatible, dude. Otherwise you're bad. I think that's shit. I think that's a stupid fucking mindset.
Not at all when you don't. So that is part of that's the walls around the ecosystem that make it really hard to leave. Because if you now want to switch from the iPhone to the Android phone, you're not just switching phones. You have to now get a new phone and a new watch and new headphones and a new tracker and all this stuff, because they all worked so well with the iPhone and so horribly with anything else. So that is a real barrier to people leaving this ecosystem once they get into it. So another example.
This is I say is like the lower, dude. That's what it is with making choices in life. I want to buy headphones that work with my phone. I want to buy this. Oh, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, dude.
Is the whole blue bubble.
Oh, guys, my Xbox controller doesn't plug into my PS5. I can't swap out of Xbox because, oh, look, I really like my Xbox controller. It doesn't plug into my new PS5. Oh, gosh darn it. How dare you lock me into two products at once? I can't believe this is happening. Like,
green
what
bubbles
the fuck?
Thing that they do. I've already made an entire video about this dynamic. If you haven't already seen it, I'll leave a link with a like button below if you want to watch it. But basically today, when iPhones message other iPhones, they have tons of features and typing indicators and high-res media, and those are blue bubbles. And when they message Android phones, it falls back to SMS, which is slow, low-res, unencrypted trash. That is green bubbles. And Apple just refuses to make iMessage work on Android. The Department of Justice actually literally...
I mean, why should they? Chat, because I hate defending Apple because I think Apple is fucking dog shit. Why the fuck should they, dude? I mean, dude, if the product sells, it's their shit. You know, somebody has an iPhone, it's good people that have it. They see the bubbles. It's how the product markets itself. Like, they're skilled at marketing their shit. And it is what it is. Like,
references a video of Tim Cook on stage
it's
at
not
a
some
conference where
participation
he
award
says
like
this.
We the competitor, let our bubbles be blue, please. Can we please get blue bubbles? We want to look cool too, please. Like, no,
it's
dude.
You
don't get
the
like what the fuck.
I can't send my mom certain videos, or she can't send me certain videos, and so we leave.
Buy your mom an iPhone.
All right.
And this is so poetic, just because, you know, obviously he's got this smile of like, you guys all know it's true. But also it goes back to what I said at the beginning, which is with any of these public-facing decisions, there's the answer that they give the public, and then there's the real reason. You know, originally iMessage was built back in the days where text messages were basically paid per text. Like every SMS cost money,
I remember
hence
that.
the green. So iMessage
Good old
would work
days.
over
I
the
had
internet
75 a month
and
and
be
things like that.
unlimited, and it would offer way more features. And they'd build
Like
onto
150.
it over time, adding encryption and reactions and typing indicators, all this stuff. And Apple people and Apple themselves would probably all agree, like, it's just a thing that Apple built that's way better than SMS. Like, it's not their fault SMS sucks. They just made a better thing. So yeah, of course, yeah, they're going to build their own version of a thing, and it's not illegal to not also develop it for Android. They just made their own thing for the iPhone. But also, Tim Cook's quote, just buy your mom an iPhone, is the other equally valid point. It's the real reason. There are plenty of internal emails that have surfaced over time with Apple executives openly talking about how giving iMessage to Android would make it easier for people to switch to Android from the iPhone. iMessage is clearly one of the walls of the ecosystem, and it's probably one of...
Chat, I hate to say it, chat, guys. Oh, let me make things to make it better for other people to stop using our products. Let's be nice and inclusive and just fucking help everybody except for us. Pog, like, dude, I don't know.
The biggest, thickest walls. Like, ask any young person in the US today why they use an iPhone. And I think a lot of them would probably tell you something to do with iMessage. So, is this stuff that they're doing illegal? I guess is the question.
I understand that there's laws around monopolies, but this is not something that other companies seem to be get hit a lot with. So that at least I'm not seeing in the headlines, or maybe I'm not seeing a lot on fucking on social media or on fucking in journaling. There's a lot of other same vertical bullshit things that are the same technique and tactics, and they don't get hit with this.
Or maybe even another way to phrase it is Apple making other products worse, or are they making their own products really good and then not letting other things outside the ecosystem have access to those things?
Xbox, PS5, I said it earlier, Switch, motherfucker. None of the cables, none of the shit works from fucking Switch to other fucking video games platform, motherfucker. If I go and I want to use my... Guys, let me plug this into my Xbox. Xbox, please make a software where it takes my controllers. I don't want to... My little brother Timmy wants to play with me, and he wants to use this, and he can't. We want to use this on Halo, but it doesn't connect. It doesn't connect. Oh, make software for me.
It's kind of both, honestly. But the thing is, they're not the only ones doing a lot of this stuff. They are just the ones that happen to be in this pseudo-monopoly position right now. Like the Pixel Watch, for example.
Because how do you plug this into an Xbox? How do you plug this? You don't.
Does not work at all with the iPhone. It just works perfectly with Android phones. But is anybody that mad about that? You know, RCS is announced to be coming to the iPhone at some point in 2024, but I can almost guarantee it'll probably still be green bubbles. It will probably be the absolute bare minimum of supporting RCS, and they will probably still be delineating very clearly between iPhone to iPhone iMessage and iPhone to Android something else. And there's even more to this lawsuit, like Apple Pay is another one, how no other services can use
you have to buy some device that's going to hack into the device. Thank you, chat. So you're saying that if you want your thing to work with Apple, motherfucker, then just fucking brute force it and fucking jailbreak your device, hack it, fuck that, open it up and start messing with the wires. Oh, it works. Dude, gotcha.
Chip on the
so
iPhone.
fucking brain dead, dude.
Super apps is another one. Like if you want to look at
then
all
your
this stuff,
argument applies for
link
Apple too.
the
Then
best stuff I can
hack your
find
iPhone.
down
Then
below. So my take is,
if you're mad about the green bubbles,
Apple
hack your device.
Technically, yeah, guilty of all of these things. They're doing all this stuff, but in the walled garden analogy, it's like they have built up a really, really nice garden, and Apple would say, like, look, our garden, it's so green and luscious and beautiful. They've built the most beautiful garden with the most people in it. But they've also built up the biggest walls around that garden. And so Apple would love to say, look, everyone's chosen our garden and they're all staying in our garden. That's how great it is. But even if you saw another greener, softer, better garden somewhere else, the walls to escaping to getting to that are just way too high. So it's less that each individual thing that they're doing with the products working well together is illegal, and it's more that they feel like they have to do something about this one company having so much power and control in smartphones, which is here, it's essentially a commodity. It's just like a thing that everybody has. So I want to leave you with this.
I don't agree.
You remember at the beginning when I talked about how Apple's ridiculously dominant in the US and these crazy numbers, like 90% of young people? The crazy thing is they're super, super popular here, but as I mentioned, they are not a monopoly anywhere else. And
if I want to play my Switch games on my PC, I can't. I can't do it. Can't do it. I can't do it.
Why? Why is that true? How are they so popular here and they're doing all the same stuff in other places, but they're not a monopoly in other places? And so I think of China.
Use emulator. The whole point of this is that it's not, it doesn't work. If you have to hack some shit, and dude, the methods of that it works on your PC are like, you have to be like some sort of hacker god and like break your shit. Like you have to homebrew your entire system and become like some hacker god.
And for example, China is another huge smartphone market.
Emulators are fucking illegal. Like you cannot just use ROMs. Your device doesn't come with a fucking ROM, motherfucker. Like you're stupid as brick.
Where WeChat is kind of like this super app. It's a huge thing. Like it's messaging, it's payments, it's also calling a taxi
chat's
and also
fucking
paying your
bugging,
bills
dude.
and ordering food, groceries. Like WeChat is everything. So just as long as your phone has WeChat, then the rest is kind of doesn't really matter. It's up to you. And so in China, there's this incredibly vibrant, innovative landscape of all these smartphone manufacturers competing like crazy, like Huawei, Xiaomi, Oppo, and iPhone is in there too, but they're all just competing ruthlessly with hardware features and with other stuff to try to get your attention to maybe pick their phone. Because it's just what you're into. They all have WeChat. So in a market like that, people will buy your phone based on if it's actually better or not. Meaning there's lots of gardens and very few walls around those gardens.
Yeah, but if the fucking blue bubble and it's encrypted is their program, that's why they buy it. They get to have and keep that, in my opinion, because they make that product, that quality, and that desirability. That's what people buy into. If these other guys want to do the same thing with your shit, oh, it's garbage. Oh, well, it is what it is. Make
That's
a better
what a
one.
good competitive
Like what?
landscape looks like. Now, what would be maybe illegal or a wrong thing to do is if WeChat or the makers of WeChat, if Tencent made a phone and then they gave their phone special access to certain parts of WeChat that suddenly no other phone could get, then monopoly. So this lawsuit and all this legal versus illegal stuff, it's mainly just a way to try to poke some holes and get closer to that level of lower walls and more competition.
No, I'm very right. I'm more on the right side of politics when it comes down to economics. Okay, that's what it is.
That makes everybody better. Then we're actually competing on innovation again. But it's something that will be evolving for a long time over time, so it'll be interesting to keep an eye on. And speaking of things that might
we're playing
be
Monopoly?
illegal, shout out to Dbrand for sponsoring this video. So you might have heard
fault.
about, unless you've been living under a rock, you've heard about their grip case by now. So I got their latest Hydro Dip cases here, and I gotta say, the name.
Why you say I'm a parasite? But if you're a fucking commie libtard, okay, and you want everybody to have free shit, that is the definition of a parasite. If you're some commie dumb fuck, okay, that's literally the definition of being a parasite. Literally, you can do fuck all nothing and get free shit. Literally, you're just trying to free ball. Gotcha. Anything else?
Androids are more common than iPhones. They're more popular.
Okay, then
Fun fact.
Well, then they should be nicer than.
Yeah. What the fuck?